I was using Dune as my model of how to design a science fiction movie. The idea of getting great artists together in a room and having them all work. And we were doing that on Alien. It was me in charge instead of Jodorowsky. And we had the walls full of these dazzling designs for everything in the movie.
He had a kind of a wish list of people he wanted to work on this film. One was Hans Rudy Giger, myself, and Chris Voss, the British science fiction illustrator. And he always had this dream project that all three of us would work on this one film, and he got his way. And even before there was a director, Chris and I had a series of little art department above an old sound stage on Fox for a long time, drawing and meeting directors as they would come in and look at the drawings and try to find out who was going to do what, and when and where, and if it would ever go.
I knew Ron as a political cartoonist from the Los Angeles Free Press. Everybody loved his cartoons. And I had the gall to actually call him on the phone and go visit him in his apartment in Westwood. We became friends that way. And I discovered something at that time was not known about him, that he did science fictional paintings. And they were incredible.
Dan came to me with the script, the original script that he and Ron Shusett had written for Alien, and had me read it, and it was quite amazing. And he wondered if I could help him do some visualizations, a series of paintings that he could send around with the script. And I did quite a few, but we were still groping as to what the thing should look like. But I was very, very interested in astronautics and space flight and aerospace design and ideas of the future, and also science fiction as a kind of future mythology. So all this just clicked with me, and I was very, very excited about it. We all contributed all kinds of things for the different versions of the script, and Chris Voss just turned out tons and tons of exterior drawings of what the ship should look like. And we kind of differed in that he was very metaphorical and sort of fantastic, and I was very interested in tapping the idea of what things could look like if they were drawn from a more realistic consideration of what a spaceship should be, without going NASA. Create the sense of confined space, spaces at a premium inside, that the idea that it was, with all the pressure doors, that it was pressurized, all those things I thought would contribute to the tension of the film. And they weren't particularly there in the in a lot of the early versions and visions of what it should look like. So I had to do a lot of persuading.
Ron Cobb was going to do the monster, and he had some drawings and all the rest of that stuff. And Ron's a real talented guy, and ended up doing a lot of the ship, but his monster was not too hot.
He kind of designed the sort of spaceship interiors and thing. I think the sort of Nostromo and the Narcissus, he did those kind of designs because he had, I mean, he's rather like Sid Mead was to Blade Runner. He just had that expert. They were founded in logic, you know, and in reality.
This guy thinks like something's engineered. He's got a mind that he designed something that really seems like it'll work, a functioning model. He's so believable. He can make them so accurate.
I was more concerned with the Nostromo, because I knew that was going to be my ultimate contribution, would be to bring the Nostromo to life. When finally we would get Giger on board, and not just having him mail things in, he would be involved with the alien planet and the alien. We all knew that that's what Dan wanted, you know. Chris Voss was to sort of take care of the exterior of the ship, and I was going to do the interior sets. There would be a production designer, but Dan wanted all our inputs to be very much noted.
I used to be very into the Metal Hurlant, the heavy metal comics from France, and all the Mobius and people like that. And I think I'd managed to infect Ridley with that enthusiasm, etc. He could treat sci-fi in the same way that he treated history, you know, like The Duelists. Before that, he was the sort of he was the expert at everything. He put a different slant on shooting historical things. Because it was just, I guess it was his eye for detail, really.
I was steeped in heavy metal comics of those at that particular time, like Metal Hurlant and you know, a lot of Mobius's stuff actually. And I was very impressed by that. And I was just in those days trying to wonder, how do I apply this to movies? You know, how do I apply this kind of really fresh and beautifully visual thinking to film. And here it was. You need a hook when you're starting something. And my hook was my boards. I drew the boards, drew the corridors, drew the spacesuits. When you're drawing boards and corridors and spacesuits, you're also sucking yourself into story, because I'm literally doing it, you know, chapter by chapter, scene by scene. You get ideas as you're drawing them. And the ideas fall into place not just as ideas, but as technological possibilities. And when that first idea comes, I tend to go with it and follow it.